The Orient Sun and Moon version 3. Is it a bright spot within the Orient lineup, or is it best left on the dark side of the moon? Let's find out. Welcome to the Watch Closet. I'm COE33, Co for short. And guys, I think it's safe to say that I'm cuckoo for watches. If you enjoy watch collecting content as much as I do, help me grow this channel and appease those algorithm overlords by subscribing and ever so gently polishing that like button. Before we get into the review, let's do a wristwatch check. I'm wearing my Tag Heuer Grand Carrera chronograph with the caliber 17 movement, nicely finished dial, leather strap, and deployment clasp. Have you ever been outside and wondered whether or not the sun was shining, but you didn't want to be bothered to just look up? Or perhaps it's nighttime and the moon is full, but you've lost all sense of space and time from your marathon gaming session? Why be bothered with the massive inconvenience of tilting your head slightly upwards when you can simply glance down at your Orient Sun and Moon? Specifically, this one, the version 3 with Roman numeral indices, rose gold tone case, and champagne guilloche dial, model RA8K0007S10B from the Classic Collection. This watch retails for $575, but can often be found on Amazon for a substantial discount. Affiliate links in the description below. I purchased this watch with my own money, so this is not a sponsored review. So why don't we get right into it, guys? Okay, so we got some simple packaging here. 2 hinges, one on top, one right there. It's on a black velvet, little lined pillow, black velvet lined case, hang tag right there, and it came with the warranty information and an instruction booklet. So pretty simple packaging. It's got the Orient logo embossed in silver on the inner packaging, and then there was an outer sleeve as well with the embossed logo right there. So here's the watch. It's got case dimensions of 42.5 millimeters, case thickness of 14 millimeters, a lug-to-lug of 50.5 millimeters, so pretty big lug-to-lug there, especially for a dress watch. The lug width is 22 millimeters, and the weight with the included strap is 100 grams. Has a fully polished rose gold tone stainless steel case, and look at the high polish on that. Really impressive for the price point. Orient does a great job with their polishing. It's actually one of the nicer polished watches I've seen in a while, so I really like that. It's got a slightly undersized crown that's signed with the Orient logo there, and it's got the 2 lions holding the shield with the crown on top. The lion on the left representing the company, the lion on the right symbolizing the retail partners, and the crown representing the customer. It's got 3 positions, position 1 for hand lighting, position 2 to set the day and date registers, and position 3 to set the time. It's got a water resistance of 50 meters, nice thick piece of domed sapphire crystal, and why don't we get a closer look at this intricate guilloche dial. Alright, this watch has nice applied Roman numeral indices, a leaf-style handset with a Breguet seconds hand, a large day register at the 10 o'clock with a Tuesday that's sure to drive anyone with OCD bonkers. It's a little bit off there. It's on the inner circle instead of the outer circle like the rest of the days. The date register between the 7 and 8 o'clock has a nice sense of depth to it with a little step there on the register. And of course you have the sun and moon indicator there with a nice glossy finish to it. Now this is not a true moon phase indicator. This won't track the, the fullness of the moon. This just basically tells you whether the sun's out or the moon's out, but still pretty cool and it does look good. There's the Orient logo there at the 2 o'clock, printed minute markers around the outer edge, a nice mix of guilloche and concentric circle patterns on the dial, 2 small flathead screws on the outside edge of the sun and moon register, and a nice champagne dial that complements the rose gold tone case. Now normally I'd flip the lights off right now for a lume shot, but this watch doesn't have any lume. It is a dress watch after all, so I'm not going to ding it for that. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at the display case back and show off that caliber F6B24 movement. This watch has a nicely decorated rotor there with the Orient logo and some pattern work. It's 22 joules, and you can see that in-house movement there. Orient does a great job with their movements. And at this price point, getting a manufactured movement in-house from their factory in Japan, super impressive. So I like that we have this display case back where it can show off. It's not the prettiest movement in the world or anything, but again, at the price point, kind of a home run. And then you have some text around the outer edge there, and we got a high polish with the stainless steel case, and of course a sapphire crystal there on the case back. So why don't we take a look at this on my 6.75 inch wrist. Alright, so how does this watch wear on wrist? Well, honestly, I think it wears pretty dang good. Now, I will say, a little oversized for a dress watch. I would like to see these dimensions just a little bit smaller. It's pretty thick there, and it's got a fairly substantial lug to lug. So I think these dimensions could be tightened up just a little bit, especially for a dress watch. If you're going to be wearing this underneath a cuff, it's going to be a tight fit. Can you do it? Sure, but it will be a tight fit. It's got this really nice brown leather band. It's very supple and feels good. It's got good bolstering to it. But I will say this deployment clasp, guys, this is no bueno. I think this is one of the big negatives. You can even see I just put it on, and this deployment clasp digs into my wrist. Now, I've tried it at different tightness settings. Initially, I had it even one notch tighter, and it was unwearable. It was so uncomfortable. So I loosened it up, and it's wearable now, but it's still fairly uncomfortable. It does tend to kind of dig into the wrist a bit there. So I probably will be replacing this band at some point. Is it a deal breaker? No, but it's pretty unfortunate. I think maybe lose the deployment clasp and just do a traditional buckle and tang system on this watch. I think that would be an improvement over what they have going on here. Now it is signed. You see the Orient right there, so that's nice. And you have the double push buttons there. So yeah, it's a well-made deployment clasp. It's just not very comfortable. And with all that said, guys, the time has come to rate this watch using the internationally unrecognized, undisputed king of all rating systems, the Cuckoo for Watches Cuckoo Bird Scale. Drum roll, please. This watch gets 7 out of 10 cuckoo birds. And that's my take on the Orient Sun and Moon version 3. What do you guys think of this piece? Does it warm you up inside? Or does it leave you feeling cold like the surface of the moon? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm posting new videos every Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can count on that. It's like clockwork. Follow me with my watch collecting adventures on Instagram at Cuckoo for Watches. I'm live streaming on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday. Follow me over there for wrist checks and retro gaming at COE33. And if you're enjoying the content, be sure to check out this video of the best watches Orient has to offer the enthusiast in 2022. Spoiler alert, the Sun and Moon makes the list. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep your watches wound and your sapphires polished.